Uh, All right, there
Good
we are
afternoon.
again. Hello.
Hey. Here we are again.
Here we are again.
Yes.
1 second. I gotta check. Okay.
So, how have you been?
Yeah, I had a very busy week. Busy,
Oh
busy,
yeah?
busy. Yeah, a lot of lectures, of course.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Really learned a lot, and
Nice. I
and
saw you actually where you
yeah, I saw
were-
you after the. Oh, whoa! You also had the debate, right?
yeah, man. Did you
Did
did
you
you
have
do the
to
debate yourself or not?
did you have to anticipate? Hoe zeg je dat? How do you did you
Participate.
have
No,
participate?
I offered myself to do it, but then another girl who couldn't be there the week after, she said,
Hmm.
"Okay, let me do it, and you can do
Okay.
the presentation."
Yeah, well,
So,
there were like three perspectives, right? And
yeah, man.
everyone only had to focus on one, and I was the only one. I was just screwed up. I had to do two because I was the last one to choose or something. So I already was like, well, of course, I will have to debate, right? So
Yeah.
then the first round were two perspectives. So I thought, well, my chances are a bit better that I won't have to. And then I had to, but I was really stressing beforehand. But afterwards, it was like, bro, what the fuck? It was easy. So
Which view did you have to debate?
utilitarian. Was really
Utilitarian.
I actually just made a lot of I had some preparation notes, and during the debate I could just read them from my laptop, so it was.
Yeah, that was very nice indeed. That like one day in advance during the
You
lecture
didn't have
that you
to
have your
you
notes.
didn't
So
have
you
to do anything out of your mind, right? You were
yeah,
just
you didn't
there.
have
I
to
was just there
improvise so
reading my
much.
laptop, and it was, oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, well, really good prepared. So I was thank
Nice.
you.
And also you could sit down instead of standing
Yeah,
and with your
way
laptop
better.
in
I
front of
thought
you.
I'm standing there alone. Hello, I'm Benjamin. Ik dacht,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, it was good. So,
And
but
did you win the debate? That's the most
I'm not
important, of
sure. I
course.
mean, the other group was a bit ethics is not really my type of thing, but I think the other groups are more interested in the ethics, right?
Oh yeah. Okay,
But they
okay,
had
okay.
like the virtue ethics, so that's pretty fake. So,
Yeah, nice. And now you the virtue ethics of
yeah,
Aristotle.
yeah, that was.
That was the most difficult one, I think.
Mhm, exactly. Okay, but well, that is about the ethics thing.
Yeah.
Last week we did the beautiful peer review. I think we both had. Did you get feedback? Yeah, you did, right? Oh no,
Uh,
you had the problem or something.
yeah, I'm afraid that I didn't hand or like submitted the podcast properly. Like I did it in the wrong uh, thing in Canvas, I think. So
But
I
the
didn't get
podcast.
any feedback, I think, on the podcast itself. Did you or not?
I did. I did. 1 second. Wait. Oh, I can wait. I can directly share my screen. Uh,
Cool. In the
um.
meantime, I'll grab my charger real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No worries.
Okay. There we have it.
Okay. Um. This is the. Wait. Let me check.
Hope there wasn't any sensitive info,
No. 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 No.
messages in there.
No. Nothing sensitive. Let me check.
Right.
Simon. Then we had the. Okay, so wait, this is reflection. Yeah, reflection week one here. Oh yeah, here. 3 out of 5.
Wow.
So hey, good
Above
job, man.
average.
And
See.
then let me check. I had some feedback, I thought, but I don't know where it is.
Consistent discussion, I see.
Where do you see discussion?
I think the top question was about the podcast.
Yeah, but I mean, in general, everything was about our reflection thing. But
Oh,
I'm
okay,
thinking
okay.
somewhere there was uh quizzes, assignments. Wait, because first of all, here's my weekly reflection, 7.5, so real good.
Yeah, I missed this one.
Oh, this one
Don't,
you missed.
yeah, I'm going to send a mail. teacher, if you say this, be prepared. I'm going to ask you for a grade.
I'm gonna. Okay, well, no, that's something between you guys, huh? Okay, yeah. So I had some comments here, but all the weekly challenges are a bit different, so it is not really useful for now. But I thought,
Yeah,
let me check. I thought I also had I mean, we also had some feedback on the reflection.
yeah.
Uh, but wait, this is the second one. Quizzes, assignments. Otherwise, we just skip it, or but this takes too long. Pre-challenge, no. Weekly reflection. This has to be it. But I don't see any. Okay. Well,
Just very
it
short
is what it
feedback.
is. We go direct to the pair thing. So what we have to do
Yes.
today, the pair
Yeah,
instruction,
yeah.
which is here.
Cool.
So it is a lot. At least it looks like a lot. So maybe we already read it, of course. But we can just kind of skim through it.
Yeah, yeah. Go through it
Uh,
together real quick.
yeah. So let me check. Critical creative discussion. Yeah, very creative, of course. Discussion. As for it should be also be creative by going beyond traditional design thinking. Okay, to start. Take the research question of the last version that you have into account. Oké, dus we check each other's research question of last week.
Question, yeah.
One of the pairs starts sharing the latest ideas about the research question and explains how he or she is thinking about the main design choices and the design choices for the description.
Yeah,
Okay, that was from the lectures we already looked into, of course.
yeah,
For instance, ask your peer to translate the research question into the range of empirical questions. Also reflect on some specific design choice for the description. Yeah, this is also from the lectures of following digging. This was also some in-class assignment.
yeah.
Nothing too hard over here. As you elaborate on your design for description, you also need to reflect on the empirical setting. Okay, well, so maybe um, if you does somebody have to screen record or something? No, right?
Okay, let me see. Shall I share my screen?
Yeah. Well, if you want to. So one
Oh
of
yeah, I don't
one of us
mind.
has to start by coming
Yeah,
back to the research question.
yeah. And but first, by the way, that's also maybe nice to know also for the teacher and us. Did you already have your meeting with your supervisor or not?
No, I still didn't. So last week we had the conversation. I told you that I was on holiday in December, so I wasn't really into the thesis thing yet. But
Yeah.
somebody in the group chat from the whole master
Mhm.
said that if somebody else had the same supervisor as I have, and if
Yeah.
he or she had contact with him, because the person in the chat said I didn't heard anything of him. So that was the moment I thought, well, maybe I should send an email.
Maybe it's time to take some
Maybe
action.
it's time. Yeah. So but it was pretty strange because I sent him an email with excuse, blah 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 blah. Just it actually was a good email, and I ended it with the weekly challenge from last week because that's
Mhm.
of course all about the thesis, right? So
Yeah.
information, how I want to structure it, how what's about, because the supervisor doesn't know yet. Well, all the information. So I really did my best with a beautiful email, and since then I again didn't hear anything from him.
Oh wow! And
So I
when
had
did you send it? Like the end
yeah,
of
more than
this
a
week?
week ago already.
Oh,
I think
so
think now
that's so
7 days
nice.
ago. But I had contact with the guy that sent the message, the WhatsApp in the group chat.
Yeah.
I spoke with him and I said, "Well, did you hear anything of him? Because I also sent a mail, didn't hear anything, blah 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 blah." Then I thought it's time to take action, right? So
Take matters in your own hands.
yeah, for sure. So I sent an email to the course coordinator. The
Okay.
that's
Is that Bart, right, or not?
No, it's a female. She's the course coordinator of everyone's thesis in the master.
Oh yeah, Amanda
I don't
Porter.
Yeah,
think.
maybe, I'm not sure. So I sent her a mail and I elaborated on the whole situation. And I said, well, listen, I sent a mail, I didn't hear anything. Other students also didn't hear anything. And I got a quick response from her, and she said, I spoke with him, and he still is your supervisor, and he will get in touch with you. So, well, that's what
Okay.
I heard from her yesterday, and now
Okay.
I'm just waiting for my
Yeah,
instructor.
that's also kind of annoying because
It really
like
is because I mean, it's. I also sent in the first mail I sent to the course coordinator. I also said, "From it's time to take action." I mean, it's January
yeah,
already.
for
We have
sure.
like 4 months left or something. I know the thesis took a lot of time with the bachelor. With the
Yeah.
master, it's even more work.
You want to stay on track, and also we do a lot of work already for this subject.
Exactly. Yeah. So
And
if
like,
I,
so
Mhm.
maybe your research question gets rejected by the
For
supervisor.
example,
Then you
yeah, and
did all
then
the work for nothing. Yeah,
exactly, yeah, and then all these weekly challenges aren't useful.
yeah,
But well,
exactly.
we will see.
Yeah,
Maybe it's time for you to we maybe it's a good idea if we go to your research question. We check
yeah,
the theory from lecture 3 and 4. So here are the main design choices and
yeah,
the description.
yeah.
And we just check what's up.
Okay.
We can
Yeah,
just talk about it.
okay. If you stop sharing your screen, then I can share mine.
Okay. Uh, yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. Let me see if I can share. Do you see it?
Mm, yeah, it says he's sharing a screen. It's still black. Yes, I
Okay.
see it. First article.
Okay. So, let me see. I had a meeting with my thesis supervisor today, and
Hmm.
I didn't have a research question yet, and it was the first time, yeah, second time meeting, first time physical. We met at the uni, and we
Hmm.
spoke for like more than 1 hour.
Oh
And
yeah, the physical meeting.
she was also very investigated in the subject that I'm going to study.
Okay.
We talked a bit back and forth, and we are trying to steer it in a direction. So, a quick recap: this is what I had beforehand, and what I this was deliverable that I have to give to her.
Uh,
Um, and my focus is to show how educators adapt their ways of working with the development of AI. And
mm,
then I read 3 articles, and also I had to show her what did I think of the articles and what did I learn from it. And here are some notes that I made
oh,
during the
she told you
conversation.
to read those articles.
Yeah, I had to read 3 articles and to give my opinion about it, and it had to be like
Okay.
in the range of what I want to investigate. And so what I want to do is to show how educators at the university
Hmm.
react and change their ways of working with the come of students using Gen AI. And
Yeah.
then we went over it together, and she said basically she found it a very interesting topic, but there's a lot more research that is done over this subject.
Hmm.
So I had to send it a bit more in a niche. And
Yeah.
what I'm going to do right now, and I have to think about how I'm going to do that, is to take contact with people that are on the forefront of AI. So you have professors and task forces within universities
Hmm.
that are leading it basically, and I'm going to contact with them, and am going to do some kind of research about them, and going to do interviews with them.
Okay, but
But
wait, one question. You say
yeah,
people on the forehand, but do you mean like AI developers or people who?
no, not really AI developers, but like within every organization, you obviously have people that are like more in the forefront
Yeah, from the
that are
departments.
Yeah, and they also have like their own task forces that are trying to figure out. Okay, now we have Gen
Mhm.
AI and we have
Yeah.
students working with ChatGPT. How
Mhm.
are we going to react to that?
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
I
and
know what
and
you're talking about.
yeah, and so you have professors that are hardly adapting and hardly like changing their ways of teaching, but
Mhm.
that's kind of rigid because things are changing and they are not changing along with how the landscape is changing basically.
Mhm.
um, so but you of course also have professors and teachers that are willing to adapt to it, and they're discussing with each other and to see how they're going to react and change their ways of working.
Mhm.
So that is where I'm going to start and orient with this task force and figure out like a nice niche that I can investigate.
Mhm. Okay, sounds good. And what did you learn? What did you learn from the articles, or what
What I
information?
learned from the articles, yeah, I can go
What did it
over
say? I
it.
mean, what was it about, or what was something that you were like, well, this is new, or did you
Yeah, they
already did you already know everything?
no all of the articles kind of broadened my knowledge and
Mhm.
gave context on. Yeah, obviously I know some things about ChatGPT, but I don't know. I don't have any academic background.
Yeah.
And now you have. Now I have read three very extensive research papers about it, and
Hmm.
this first one is how should we change it by Lai and Alfano at
Yeah.
Ali. And I wrote my most important takeaways here. Here I made a quick summary about it,
Hmm.
and that educators' perceptions on the impact on Gen AI vary. So most people think it's going to change the ways of working big time, but there are also educators that don't think that that is the
Hmm.
case. So that's the first one, that they
Yeah.
vary.
Yeah.
And the second takeaway that I took out of it is let me see. The proposed changes on what teaching on AI should emphasize, or also what the teachers teach their students
Yeah.
about artificial intelligence, what it is,
Hmm.
and how they can work with it. That is the first one. The second one
Okay.
is a review with literature review with almost 1,000 articles that I took in consideration and
Oh.
32 empirical students. So it's a very extensive research.
Yeah. How many pages was this thing?
This thing was about 40, I think. So they really took the best out
Yeah,
of
yeah,
everything
yeah. It was a
and
nice day, right?
summarized it.
Reading it or not?
Yeah, I don't hope we have to do so many for the thesis.
Okay, yeah.
But so yeah, and then yeah, the key areas of focus for institutions with
Hmm.
the come of AI and how it influences the higher education. Obviously, is quite new, so
Hmm.
it's still unclear what's being done with it. And then they had some hands-on results, so that's nice. Let me see. Um, yeah, how do universities adapt to these developments, and also does the come of AI change the development of skills of students because they rely on ChatGPT instead of
Yeah.
what they can themselves if they don't write the essays themselves anymore. So
Mm.
that's also interesting. And then yeah, the last article was a bit didn't really spark my attention. It was a bit boring, and I only checked the websites of 25 universities, leading universities, and what their um, like proposal was on how they do their ChatGPT legislation, basically.
Mm.
And it was really a bit.
Boring. And it,
Yeah, a bit boring, and also it didn't say very much because universities drop their statements about AI on their websites, but in the end, what does it say? Not very much. So
Mhm.
I didn't like that one very much. And then Here are some notes that I took.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what I did right now and where I am. And I think it's a bit early for me to already have came up with a research question of my whole thesis.
Mm-hmm.
And I think more students have the same problem that like they're asking for a research question already now, but like a lot of students haven't even met their supervisors yet. That's a small sorry teacher. That's a small critique on this course. But it's nice that you give us some structure, but it's only a bit early. It would
Bit
have been
early,
perfect.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it was a little bit later in the schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I agree with you, but besides of that, we also get a lot of good articles and constructions to
yeah,
with.
definitely,
So
definitely.
this is very nice.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And they do trigger it with this course
Of
to
course.
think about it and also
Mhm.
discuss it with your peers and ask some critical questions to each other, a big back and forth, you
Mhm.
know. Then
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah. I like it big time.
yeah, man. So that's what I have basically right now.
Okay.
Do you have
Yeah, well,
go through your
the
stuff very quick, maybe?
sorry.
Maybe we can go through your stuff real quick, like five
Yeah,
minutes.
well, so I will, of course, but yeah, as I still didn't get any contact with my supervisor, it's just me on my
Ah, that makes it.
it's me on my own over here. And it will be very handy if I mean the supervisor was of course my supervisor is of course also in the same digital transformation topic that we are. You're also in the digital transformation, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah. So I hope maybe he also has. So mine, my research question was about the influence of Gen AI on the formulation of strategies in the creative industry.
yeah,
And maybe the supervisor is very interested in well and on the influence of Gen AI on how to formulate and how to cooperate with all these things. And he also can give me some articles to read, but yeah, well, I don't know. So and it is
yeah.
hard for
Okay.
me to just go online and read some
Yeah,
articles because there are thousands of articles. So maybe I'm reading those that aren't that interesting and the
yeah,
very valuable ones that he maybe knows. Then
yeah.
I'm skipping them. So
Yeah. And did you like with the pre-challenge this week? And you obviously like thought a little about your research.
mm,
Did you like come up with any like new
so I
stuff
was
there?
really thinking about it a lot this time. But, it was so it was some sort of mind bender, right? It
Yeah, yeah. That was the
okay.
word I was just looking for
Yeah,
actually.
I understand. So let me check. I can show you
Maybe we can just go to your pre-challenge and skim through
exactly.
it real
I
quick.
will. 1 second. So
Maybe
I
I
go
can have
to
some critical reflections.
yeah. Who knows? It will be very valuable maybe.
Yeah,
Mm,
for sure.
here, pre-challenge week 2. I will share my screen in a minute.
And
So
that's also what this course is about, huh? Like refining and refining again.
yeah, that's the whole point. I mean, you have to give me feedback. I give you feedback. That's
Yes,
what it's all about, right?
sure is.
Uh, so let me check. Um, okay, well, here it is.
Can you see actually how long the recording is right now? Do you see that
No,
anywhere?
but we started it 5 or 10 minutes after, so I think we are almost half an hour.
Okay, cool. Yeah, before
So-
like last time that we keep on talking and talking, I don't
yeah,
even get the
well,
chance
last
to
time
like
it
go
was
through the quick.
exactly 1 hour, so that was
Yeah, 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 yeah.
very special moment. You can imagine. Okay, well, here is the pre-challenge, but so here's my answer, but I will go to the template so you can see the question again, because maybe you forgot a little bit about what it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's a nice little refresher.
Yeah, exactly. So what I did, and maybe that's a really good tip for you, because
Okay, you're
I
welcome.
yes, my one of my feedback from the weekly
reflection or
weekly
challenge?
reflection from or weekly challenge from week one was that he said, well, the way you use the format of the document is really good. So that is a tip for you. So over here you
Oh
can see,
wow, stick to that.
yeah. So here you see the format they want you to use. Uh,
Yeah, some kind of
so
template.
exactly. So in these brackets, you have to just fill in your own answer. So as you can see, so this is the input you get, and this is the answer I made. So you can just read quickly through it. So this is my answer.
Yeah. Okay, and so the overall research design choices, that's something
Yeah,
that
so I will go pretty quickly through it. So here's again my one more time my research question: the impact of Gen AI on the formulation execution of corporate strategies in creative industries. Well, pretty clear. Qualitative research approach, as we already talked about, because qualitative, yeah, just about the interviews makes it for me much easier. So no R studio things, and of course the literature review is besides of that.
what is R Studios? Is that like a design tool?
No, R studio is you also have SPSS, maybe you know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, R studio is the same. So it's like what's it, statics
statistics.
yeah, statistics application. So I'm not good at that. And I did it with my bachelor. I had to use quantitative, but my statistics are really awful. So I'm happy that we're now can
What are like your strong points in academic
Well,
terms?
I'm actually pretty good in mathematics, but statistics is just something else. I mean, and I
Yeah.
mean, not statistics on itself, because you had like a statistics exam just with a pen and paper, and that went pretty well. But then you also
Okay.
had a sort of side exam inside the application, the tool, so our studio program, and that's just what I hate.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But all in all, I'm better in mathematics than language and that kind of stuff. But
Okay.
well, very good that you are very interested. I like that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But okay, let's
It's
go.
also to get to know each other a little
Yeah,
better.
sure,
Of
of course.
course, and get to know each other's strong points, and you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
take that into account
Important,
with like
important,
the
important.
narrowed questions.
Okay, but well, I go further. So, a qualitative research approach for an in-depth exploration of the nuanced and contextual ways Gen AI impacts. Well, this is a bit more of the same, just elaborating. This means that I
Mhm.
will design my research based on a case study methodology to investigate specific cases of AI adoption and usage within organization creative industries. This aligns with my objective to explore the lived experience of professionals. Well, elaborate on that. The central unit of analysis, that's pretty important, I think. So that is actually, yeah, it is what it says, the central unit of analysis. It is the strategic processes of organizations in creative industries. So I really want to deep dive into, and as I already told you last week, that I work at a digital marketing agency, and
Yeah.
I'm actually in the same office as a website developer. So I can really like deep dive in there, and I can just do a hands-on research about what's going on, what changed, what didn't change, what works better now, what maybe can get more improvement. So
Yeah.
that's really interesting. So that's what I also say here. I'll collect data about the role of Gen AI in the formulation execution.
I've one critical reflection on this.
Mm,
That I was talking to my supervisor today, and obviously I want to interview teachers and educators, and then she said that it was important to note that if you know the people that you're going to interview, so
mm,
like you share an office with website developers, that it is key to stay objective and
yeah.
not like are too subjective because you know the people. So
Mm,
that's a very one
yeah.
very important thing that I learned from my supervisor
Okay,
today.
well, yeah, good to know. I mean, you have to stay serious, right? And not only serious,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
otherwise you're more in a, uh,
Yeah,
um, how do you say that? In a,
especially in the academics,
Mhm.
because you don't, or because you get biased. Maybe that's what you're looking
Exactly.
for.
Yeah, that's yeah. You can get biased because you already know each other and you maybe know what you want to hear, right?
Yeah, push them in a direction. Please
Yeah,
answer this because
but,
that's good for my
that's not what we
investigation.
that's
No, no,
not
no,
what we
no.
want.
That's not what we're here for.
No, 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 no. Okay, well,
Oh,
then one more time to my pre-challenge. So what also
yeah,
is very important for me. So this is again pretty disappointing that I can't discuss this with my supervisor at the moment because
yeah,
so I already thought about some challenges. So of course we already talked about last week were the ethical concerns, which is also for you, also important for you maybe and
yeah.
your thesis, but
Hmm.
also the over reliance on AI. I mean, at a certain moment, maybe employees will just use it because it is easy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the output is better than when they use their own knowledge. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah, man.
that's a really important part to take into account for my research and maybe
Yeah,
look into articles about this because I can imagine that there are plenty research done already.
yeah,
So here maybe focusing on professionals in the market. Yeah, that's what I thought. Then again, semi-structured interviews. So you prepare some questions, but as the interview is going on, you just maybe think of new stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah,
uh, Document analysis, so I can really get into some data. And so here it allows me to capture rich and detailed information about practitioners' experience and examine organizational strategies, policies, and outputs influenced by AI. Well, really good. And then here at last, this approach as enables me to bridge theoretical concept with practical application. However, I'm still exploring. Yeah, so this is important. Also, something I would like to discuss with my supervisor because I'm still exploring how to ensure the ethical aspects of AI adoption are sufficiently emphasized and how to best capture the long-term impact. Because, of course, I can go there and they tell me, well, it works really good, it's awesome, and everybody, it's way more efficient. But who knows that in now and a year from now, maybe things are changing radically and it maybe changes a lot. So maybe now it is the best way to fully focus on AI, but maybe in a few months it is important that you still have people with the knowledge. You know what I say? If everybody
yeah.
is if everybody's keep using the AI, I think that the employees, their own knowledge will go a bit down.
Yeah, they'll fade to the background.
Yeah, so that's again the over reliance on the AI because I think it is still important to have some people on important places in the company that, yeah, I mean, it sounds crazy, but they are still, it is important that they can still use their knowledge properly, right?
Yeah, and their skills. And like in an
Exactly.
important meeting, you can't just grab ChatGPT and let
Hmm.
them do the talking for you. You have
Yeah.
to keep your own skills and also to know what's good and what's not good.
Hmm. So that's
So
important. And
agree with you.
I'm not sure I can go and I can do a hands-on research and check from what's going on now, but I don't really know how I can capture the long-term impact of the AI. So now it works good, but is this the way to go? Or maybe later on there will be other
Yeah,
changes we still have
yeah,
to. So that's interesting. And at
yeah,
last, I'm still unsure how broad my research should be because here I explained it pretty well.
yeah.
Uh, as I want to be specific, but also cover enough. I mean, so
That's like the paradox that you're in, right?
exactly, because for example, with the creative industries, I can try to put my scope as broad as possible to take into account all the creative industries possible. But I can also
Yeah,
say, I just want to do it on digital marketing agencies, for example.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
something that
yeah,
I don't know where to put my focus on.
yeah,
So that's yeah. I hope to get in contact with my supervisor
yeah,
really quick because these are the things that he can just tell me. I
yeah.
mean, it's a
And
question and
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
directly has an answer, right?
And that's why this template's also nice because now you can put your thoughts on paper and then you have
Exactly,
some
and that's why
guidance. If you go into
exactly.
the conversation with your
Hmm.
supervisor, you already have guidance on what you want to ask and what your concerns are.
Exactly. So that's the good point of having these templates. So I sent that mail to my supervisor, and I could already use the weekly challenge from last week, but it was also already pretty clear. So I
Yeah.
it is already January and I didn't have contact with my supervisor, but if he reads the mail, he knows a lot of what I want to do, how I
Yeah.
want to do it. So that's good.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
well, I talked already too much.
Okay.
I think it's time. You did the pre-challenge, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so then maybe time for you to share your screen again, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Let
I'll
me
stop
see.
sharing. Okay. And then after
All
this, I think
right.
it's important to because that was the whole assignment actually, to look at the literature of lecture 3 and 4, and then we can count
Yeah.
what we already know, what we don't know yet.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go over this real quick. RDM assignments. You can see it, right?
Yes, I can.
Cool. Pre-challenge. Okay, so my answer. Let me see. What are the challenges that come with the rise of students using Gen AI tools in online learning environment? This changed already because I had the meeting with my supervisor today, and I'm going to change it to educators. But still, I think the basis of the research is going to stay relatively the same.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a qualitative exploratory research approach because I want to research the impacts of the Gen AI on students, and that suits us the most because I want to have some kind of exploratory nature and not really like castle or do or run the regressions with R or
Mm-hmm.
SPSS, but rather want to like explain it, and it also suits me better. That's also why I went for the qualitative.
Yeah.
And as I said here, because it goes further than just predefined and rigid variables. It's not just about numbers, but about nuance and explanation as well. With an open mode of inquiry and then allowing patterns and insights to emerge from the investigation. Also with the interviews with the educators that I'm going to contact. And so the central unit of analysis, you mentioned it before, very important, is the individual student within the context of online learning environments. It used
Mm-hmm.
to be that, but now it's shifting from the student to the educators.
Mm-hmm.
Also important, and then it's more the institutions and the people running the institutions instead of the students that take the exams and do get taught, but rather the institution itself. And then I thought I wanted to collect data about student performance, engagement, and challenges with Gen AI. Maybe I'm still going to remain to have this in my thesis as well in a sub question. Not sure though, because my focus shifted.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I have to look into that later. But now I'm talking about it, and I can do the reflection later on, and I'll think about it. And I'm curious what I'm going to come up with. And it's going to be through literature reviews and interviews and surveys because they allow for rich and grounded insights. And I can ask the experts, namely the educators, to what their opinion is,
Okay,
and
well,
also back it up with literature
mhm.
for some context.
Okay. Yeah, I think it
So that's
looks good, very clear, and maybe so as I already mentioned, good for you to take into account that you use the right format. You already did, but
yeah, yes. That was a very good
you
tip of
really
you
liked
because
it,
the teacher
so
likes it. We want to make the teacher happy, of
yeah,
course.
for sure. I mean, he's the one.
That's what it's all about these
Mhm.
days.
And then I think it's good for us to go quickly through this excitement for the peer thing. We already discussed it,
Yes,
but
yes, yes, yes.
step
Take another
one.
look at the fundamentals.
Yeah, so what the
We
teacher
cover
doesn't
everything.
know, what the teacher doesn't know is that you and I, we shared already the notes of the lectures, lecture 3 and 4.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So maybe it is good if you start with lecture 3, and then
Yes.
maybe if you go through the notes,
Yeah,
then while you're doing that, we are discussing what is important for you with your thesis and what is important for my with my thesis.
yeah.
And then later I will do lecture 4, and then we do the same. I think that is a proper way to
Cool.
go through the literature,
Yeah,
right?
that's a nice structure indeed.
And we can
Okay.
do it pretty quick. I mean, we don't have to go too
Yeah,
deep.
for sure.
There are,
Okay, so lecture three, we made some notes about it, and
Mhm.
then the first three things that were important was like the aim of the study, and then you have three different things. That's what I remember. You have describing, explaining, and prescribing. And
Mhm.
describing is mainly capturing and detailing the phenomena.
Mhm.
Explaining is identifying causal mechanisms, like
Okay.
why or how something happens, and
Mhm.
prescribing is suggesting solutions or improvement.
Yeah.
And for my research, let me see, it was, yeah, it was it is describing, because I want to see what it's like now, and how, like, it's also about behaviors, and I'm looking to see how educators react to the new technology, namely ChatGPT. So that's it for me.
Yeah, I think I agree. I also want to show the process of how they use it. But I think explaining is also important because why and how something happens. So why do they use AI and how do they use it? That's also really important for my thesis.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
something
yeah,
to
yeah,
keep in mind. We also have to
yeah,
use this literature
yeah,
for the assignment for tonight for the pre-challenge week
yeah,
2.
yeah,
So also something to take into account.
yeah.
Okay,
And now
then
that you,
let's go.
yeah,
Sorry?
okay. So
Let's approach.
let me see the approach, like inductive
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
deductive.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So there I wrote down that we have two different um, approaches. You have
Mhm.
inductive and you have deductive, and
Yeah.
inductive is also named exploratory and deductive is confirmatory.
Mhm.
And inductive is more of an open-ended exploration under new phenomena,
Mhm.
and deductive is more of testing hypotheses or theories within structured frameworks.
Mhm.
And my approach is 100% going to be more inductive and exploratory. I'm not going to come up with hypotheses forward, but I'm going in there with an open mind and then see how it is and then explore that basically.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to test any hypothesis. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I fully agree. I'm gonna use an inductive exploratory approach. Yeah, because I
Okay.
wanna uncover the dynamics. So that's really important for me. So also inductive.
Okay, nice. So we're on the same page again. It's
Again and
also
again and again.
nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Let me see. The entity being studied, I'm looking into organizations, but also individuals within the organization, because obviously they all have different views and different ways of working.
Mhm.
So it's kind of ambiguous. Also organization, but also individuals within the organization.
Yeah, I agree. So this is the unit or the level of analysis.
Yeah.
And I agree. It's important to take both into account. That speaks for itself, I guess.
Right. Okay. And then yeah, temporal orientation.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, cross-sectional or longitudinal.
Mm-hmm.
That is like examining something in a single point of time is cross-sectional, and
Yeah.
longitudinal is if it goes over a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it over a period of time. I'm just seeing how it is at this moment.
Yes.
So that's it for me.
Yeah. It's also for me cross-sectional, but actually, as we already talked about earlier, it was better for me to do the longitudinal because I wanna,
Okay.
actually they already use AI, so it isn't really longitudinal, but it should be very important for me to know how they used it before. So when they didn't use the Gen AI tricks and
Yeah.
how they use it now. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's something I can ask, but of course I
Yeah.
can go
Yeah.
back in
Yeah.
time to do
Yeah.
the research then. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so that's it
Only
is
you have to discuss with your supervisor, I think, because you can't go back in time to see how they did it.
exactly
So you have to do it
exactly.
kind of in a retrospective. So that's also something
Yeah.
that's nice to investigate.
Hmm.
So yeah, you can see about that. Are you going to do that?
Yeah. And the
Let me
empirical
see
setting.
the empirical setting. Let me see. That's the context of the study.
Hmm. And the jungle,
And
as the teacher said, pretty in a beautiful
yeah,
way.
that's a nice analogy indeed. I found it
Hey.
very well found
Hmm.
by him. And then yeah, the empirical engagement. Let's go to that, right?
Yeah.
So you either have naturalistic, that's observing phenomena as they naturally occur, or
Hmm.
controlled, and that's manipulating conditions to study reactions, or intervenial. So that means changing something and see how they react to it.
Hmm.
We're not going to do any kind of experimentation, so we're just
Oh,
observing how they occur naturally.
yeah.
AI
Actually,
came, how do people react to it? We're not going to do some kind of experiment, so that's easy,
yeah.
naturalistic for me.
Yeah.
For you,
For
same,
me,
I think.
yeah. It is. That's clear.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
well, that was lecture three, pretty quick went through. I like that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Actually, a pretty clear lecture, not too many questions. So, teacher,
Just
well
like
done,
that.
I would say, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, well, then we go to lecture four. Also, pretty important, maybe a bit harder. We will see, right?
Yeah, let's jump right into it.
Yeah, let's jump into that. Let me check. So yeah, so that was about the design choices for description.
Yeah,
Um, Let me just read the notes when designing. Yeah, so it is actually about scientifically understanding and detailing what is happening. So pretty important for us both. I mean, what is going on? We really want to know, right? Okay. So then a couple choices to choose from, and that's about the modes of empirical inquiry. There were a couple options. You had touching, following, digging, shaking. Are those all of them? Yeah, I think so. Following,
yeah.
touching, following, digging, shaking. Four options, and also the in-class assignment was about this topic. Did you make the in-class assignment?
I didn't. I
Oi,
was
oi, oi. That was for
yeah,
a whole point, so I hope he's happy with
yeah.
me.
But like next time,
Okay,
next
well,
time.
touching is capturing broad patterns across a sample. So think of a survey, for example. Following is observing changes or evaluations over time. So that's the longitudinal, as we already spoke about in lecture three.
Yeah, yeah,
You have digging. Well, as it already says, it's a deeply understanding of a single
yeah.
case or
Really digging through it and the different
deep
layers, of
dive,
course.
right? It's
Get to the bottom of it.
So I think really important for both of us actually.
Yeah,
And then shaking is intervening to observe reactions to changes. So hope to get some changes in action, right? But for me, digging for sure is the most important thing because I really want to, yeah, as it already says, just a deep dive. What's going on and why does it happen?
yeah, for sure. And then also we spoke about the paradox before. If you
Mm,
want to really understand a matter, you really want to dive deep into it. It's
mm,
important that your focus is not too general, but also narrow it down a bit because you can't deep dive into a very broad
exactly,
topic. Yeah,
exactly. So that's indeed a good point to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Then you had the 3C framework for inquiry. It was
Three C's.
yeah, the 3 C's. So as it already says, 3 C's. Concepts, connections, and context. The concepts is identifying core constructs or attributes to explore. So yeah, just attributes to explore for your thesis. Uh, connections, connections is about understanding relationships between concepts. Yeah, so how something influences something else. And then the context is considering broader conditions for setting that influence phenomena. So yeah, not really one to choose from. It's just all three are important to keep in mind while writing your
Yeah.
thesis.
Yeah, for sure.
Then let me go through operationalization, really important, of course. It's to you have some it is to translate abstract concepts into measurable constructs. So if there are we both have a lot of broad concepts and constructs, and we don't want to it's not about the numbers in our thesis, but it is of course important to kind of measure at least for me it's important to measure the effect of, in this case, Gen AI, how they use it. It's important to kind of measure how it switched,
Yeah.
how they now
Yeah.
formulate.
Also more difficult in our field of research with the qualitative
Mm-hmm.
because we're not really working that much with variables and rigid numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I think with quantitative this is easier,
Easier,
but
exactly.
yeah, we can see how we are going to implement these
Mm-hmm.
concepts into our research.
Yeah, but
But,
it is still important for us that constructs are valid and data collection methods are appropriate, right? It is.
yeah, for sure, we don't want to jeopardize our academic
No,
integrity.
that's the last thing we want to do. Well, then at last we have ensuring description quality.
Yeah,
We have three options again: correctness, completeness, and openness. Correctness is about ensuring data correspond to reality. Accurate sampling, for example. Completeness is about covering all relevant aspects. For example, balancing opposing views or outcomes. Of course, really important. At last, openness or flexibility. This is about allowing for unexpected findings and iterative
yeah. This
inquiry.
has to do again with the academic integrity to
Mhm.
keep your research valid.
Oh, I think we are on time. Almost, we
Yeah,
already are here for almost 1 hour, but we go to, I will share my screen. We
yeah,
will
cool,
go to step two pretty quickly, and then I think it's already done.
cool.
So this is about engaging creative conversation with existing literature. Well, we actually already did. You showed the articles you read, your option, your what you think about it, what
Yeah,
you thought was interesting, what maybe wasn't. Well, let me check. Creative chat with the peer. We had a really creative chat, of course. Novel ideas, creative design choices. Spoke about that. Scholars who've explored novel ways of design and researches, especially encountered some specific challenges or questions in step one. Well, we already did. You can now go back to the literature and see. Yeah, well, this is more about the literature, more a deep dive, but kind of disappointing. But as already mentioned plenty of times, I didn't have the opportunity to really search for literature already because
no,
I can be, but I don't want to do
no.
things.
You have a valid excuse in these, in
Exactly.
this.
I don't want to do things for
Yeah,
nothing, right? I want
no,
it to
no,
be efficient. And well, with you, we already went through three really big
yeah.
and really interesting. At least the first two are pretty interesting. The third you said was a bit.
Yeah, you remembered it well.
Of course, I listened good to my peer.
Nice.
And well, I think how they say it's a wrap, right?
I do think so.
It's now
I
up
think
to us to
yes.
make really important for you. Don't forget the reflection.
No,
Uh,
I won't. I'm
reflection is a
going.
quiz, and it is about 3 questions, if I'm right, or maybe four. And then you also have, which one you forgot last time, is the week 2
Yeah, the
challenge.
challenge.
Yeah.
Is it, how long
It's
does that
even more
take?
important because it is a more it is more points valuable.
It counts
So,
for more points. But how long does it take, you think? Because
well, the thing is, you already had your pre-challenge, but you have to change it in the new one with the
yeah, you can use
lyric.
that.
Yeah, but there you have a word cap of 500 words.
Yeah, okay,
That's
no,
actually
it should be
I
good.
don't have 500, but three,
Yeah,
400 will be fine.
yeah,
It's,
and this is also the preparation for that. So all this new
Mhm.
inspiration that I get, I can
Yeah,
use to get it
you
in
have
there.
a nice evening, I
Don't
guess.
forget it about this time.
You will
So do you
make
have?
it for dinner.
Yeah. Okay. Now, cool. Okay. So let's keep it with this. Very good conversation, and looking forward to next week.
Yeah, let me check how to, 1 second. Can I, where is it? Stop sharing here. Okay, so ready to stop the recording, right?
Yes.
Let me check.